The bag is packed with the sticks. The drinks are cold. And the scorecard's ready to go. Time to hit the links.
I think that he deserves to be on the team.
Yes.
But if he picks himself as a captain and he tries to do both, it sets a very dangerous precedent moving forward.
I don't know if it does because I don't know if we're going to be in this position again.
It's time to go on the team.
We're golfers, man. We're weird.
Sponsored by Majestic Oaks at Lake Lawn Resort.
Yeah, I don't care too much about other things outside of golf.
And Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Let's give the people what they want. The original
By
script.
the people, you mean you.
Yeah.
Alongside PGA Tour Live Stephen Watson, here's Gabe Neitzel.
Well, we're going to have that conversation again. Just heard us talking about Keegan Bradley in the Open, and it's about that time. It's getting closer and closer to the Ryder Cup. So, of course, we've got to talk more about that. And it's a little bit of a slow time in the world of professional golf. It's hot outside here for personal golf in the state of Wisconsin. We will get into, because the Wyndham, with some of the changes they've made on the PGA Tour, the Wyndham actually becomes interesting with where the cut line is to make the playoffs. Certainly get to that in a moment. But the last time we had this Ryder Cup discussion, Stephen, we talked a lot about Keegan Bradley, who is 10th right now in the point standings for Team USA. We were debating if he was going to pick himself. Should he pick himself? Is he going to be the captain? Still, I hope we both can agree right now. He is picking himself, and he's going to be a playing captain. He's going against everything that he said early, and it feels like to me it's a foregone conclusion that he is going to be a playing captain for Team USA.
What makes you believe that he's going to be a playing captain? I think we both agree that he's going to be playing, but what makes you believe that he's going to do both roles?
Because, I mean, there's no way you would have given that role up already. Like, it's getting early late.
Public.
I mean, I think they would have made that public. He's going to do both roles.
It's not going to be Kisner. It's not going to be Gary Woodland.
No, he's doing both. And I think the sooner you come to grips with that, I thought we were on the same page here. Apparently not. The sooner you come to grips with that, the better off this conversation is going to be.
No, I am terrified. This is a terrible idea.
Yeah, look,
I'm not going to come to grips with this.
I understand. You think
hate this.
I understand, but it's just a reality of the situation.
Why do we think this is a good thing?
I don't. Look, I am with you. I've just gone through the steps quicker.
Make this make sense to me. Because they don't have a better option to be a captain? That's crazy.
No, but I think it goes back to the quotes that in the comments that he made about when the PGA of America first reached out to him and said, "Oh, we think maybe you could be the first playing captain since Arnold Palmer in the 60s. I know that's not the direct quote, but you get the idea of that was, and I think that's been in his mind. And it starts with, unless I qualify, I'm not going to pick myself. And then it goes to, well, maybe I would if that's what the guys want.
Yeah.
And now it is where we are now, where he's won this year. He's played some pretty good golf outside of really the majors, and he sits at 10th on the points list. He's picking himself.
It sounds a lot more like Keegan, when he was approached with this concept, said, well, what if I make the team?
Yeah.
Well, then, we want you to be the first playing captain since Arnold Palmer in 1962. I can't imagine that they went into this thinking that he would play this good of golf this year.
But again, so here's where we come back to the PGAs, and we talked about this when it happened last year.
Yeah, I mean, they dug their own grave.
The process is terrible. The process to get to where we are, while we both like Keegan Bradley as a captain because of the reverence that he has for the Ryder Cup, because of the passion he has for the Ryder Cup, the process was poor to arrive at the position in which they did of, Keegan Bradley, this is interesting. I'm intrigued by this. The process was bad. And now, because the process is bad, some of those consequences are coming home to roost. Some of those consequences of, Keegan Bradley's actually playing some pretty decent golf, and because he should be playing. I think that's where we both arrived the last time we had this conversation. He is one of the top 12 Americans. He is one of the 12 best players that USA can put on this team to help them win back the Ryder Cup.
He's one of the 8 best players right now.
Yes. And I think that, which is why, because if he was like 11 or 12, then it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. If you leave him off, he's just the captain. But I agree, because it seems like he is one of those 8 bests. Yeah, he should be on the team playing, but he's not going to give it up. And maybe there's some ego things here at play. I would love for somebody, again, it's not going to happen for like 15 years from now, do a deep dive into this, write a book about it, because I want to know what's going through Keegan's head, because he's a little bit more disconnected from a lot of other these guys. And we don't know what he's necessarily thinking. Maybe he's thinking, hey, they left me off. Now this is my chance to make sure I make it and I play again.
Maybe they're poking the bear in the exact way that they were hoping for to get the most out of Keegan as an individual. Maybe this is something that ignites him as a player.
You're giving the PGA of America way too much credit right now. Remember, they are terrible at this. They are awful at the process. They've stumbled into some good things, but as an organization, not real good at this.
I don't like it because of even just how we're discussing this right now. It's making us angry. And we're going to get to a point where win or lose, I feel like this is going to be a bad thing. Because I think if they lose, it's what a terrible idea from the beginning.
Yeah.
If they win, it's all about Keegan.
Oh, 100%.
And that's what I hate about
Captain Keegan, player Keegan. Keegan finally gets to open his bag.
He should do it again. Keep him as captain. Let's send him over to Ireland, right?
Yeah, because it's going to be at...
and...
why am I blanking? Adair Manor.
Yeah.
Which seems like that's going to be Tiger. Well, that's the problem, right? Tiger's one of the greatest of all time. That's why he did it. And it's also, this isn't a President's Cup. We talked about that difference before. Where President's Cup, it's one series of matches, break. One series of matches, break. And I'm talking about day breaks. And then there's only one day where you're playing 36, and Tiger didn't put himself out for 36 that day. And I don't think Keegan's going to put himself out for 36 on any day. You can't do that as the captain. That's now if you do that as the captain, you're being derelict in your duties. Yeah. But this is a compressed timeline versus what Tiger did back in 2018 when he did it in Australia for the President's Cup. But he's one of the guys on the team, and Scotty, we know, is on the team.
Yeah.
He's already gotten so many points.
I mean, Scotty could have taken the second half of the season off.
He automatically qualified like 3 weeks ago.
So here are the top six right now in order. Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, J.J. Spawn, Russell Henley, Bryson DeChambeau, and Harris English. Those are the six who are automatically qualifying based on points right now. Harris English, 2 runner-up finishes at majors this year, the PGA and the Open. Both of the wins that Scotty Scheffler had this year, so he vaulted into the top 6, which would earn him a spot. The golfers just on the outside of those 6 right now. So these are the 6 captains' picks that maybe Keegan, maybe Gary, maybe Kisner will have to make here in the coming months. Justin Thomas is currently number 7. Colin Morikawa is 8th. Ben Griffin, 9. Keegan Bradley is number 10. Maverick McNeely is 11. Brian Harmon, 12. Andrew Novak, 13. Patrick Cantlay, 14. Sam Burns, 15. I think we're safe to stop there, right?
Well, I would say there's still, and somebody like Chris Gotterup has an opportunity, I think, to still make the team. But again, he would have to be a captain's pick. He's 20th. I think Jordan Spieth has an opportunity to be a captain's pick. He's 27th. I think it kind of stops there. Like, those are the 2 that would have an opportunity to be captain's pick that are outside of that.
16 is Wyndham Clark. No, thank you. 17, Lucas Glover.
If Wyndham wins a playoff event, then all of a sudden, to me, then his name enters the list of could he be a captain's pick.
I think it's just been a bad year for the brand. I think we can maybe kick Wyndham Clark to the curb for the rest of this golf season.
Yeah, sure, you can, but I'm leaving all avenues open. Again, he would have to win a playoff event. Like, that's the only way to me he gets on that list. So to me, when I look at this team, think the top 6 that you named, Scotty Xander, Spawn, Henley, Bryson, and Harris English, along with JT, Morikawa, and Bradley, those seem to me to be the locks. Like, those 9, I feel pretty confident are going to be on the team. So it really leaves the door open for 3 additional captain's picks.
Just a fascinating storyline to think about, because we have such close ties to the Ryder Cup here in Wisconsin because they won here at Whistling Straits back in 2021. That year, it was Scotty Scheffler who drew headlines as the 12th and final pick by Steve Stricker. He was ranked 21st in the world at that point.
Had not won a PGA Tour event.
Is there anyone...
Which is wild.
crazy to think about. Is there any name that stands out to you of a guy, And we'll make this our Gruber Losses one call that's all pick.
Okay.
Who is the name that we are not talking about enough that you would hope the captain picks at this point?
I think Cameron Young could be that guy. He's 19th on this list. I think Cameron Young could be that guy. A, because he's a course fit. Like, this is a bomber's paradise. Dude has been driving it really well. It's been a relatively inconsistent season, but he's been playing better as of late. Had, a couple of cameo appearances in majors. Has at times popped up on top of leaderboards. But I look at Cameron Young and I see all this talent he's just got so much talent there's so much potential he hasn't realized. But because of what Bethpage Black is and what it's been in terms of the prerequisite of winning the major championships that they've held there is you got to hit the ball long and straight. And Cameron Young is really good at that.
Yeah, and he's from that area.
Yeah.
He's from upstate New York, and it's a course fit to a T for Cameron Young. I like that pick a lot. I have two names. One is a guy who's now number 9, and that's Ben Griffin. I just don't know if he has the dog in him that I want for Team USA. Granted, he did go out with Andrew Novak and win the only team event on the PGA Tour, that being the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. But the name I have is the guy who has probably vaulted himself into the conversation faster than anyone, and that's Chris Gotterup.
Mm-hmm. So they're right
overseas.
next to each other. They're 19th and 20th on the rankings.
Yeah. And Gotterup, just won his first PGA Tour event at the Scottish Open. He finished third, right, at the Open, and had a good week at the 3M Open. I'm fascinated to see what Chris Gotterup can offer us during the FedEx Cup playoffs over the next couple of weeks, beginning with the Wyndham this upcoming weekend, because he's a guy that has the prototype. Like, he can hit the ball a mile. Bethpage will be a great fit for him. We've seen that he can handle the pressure. Golf's such a funny sport like this. You catch a heater at the right time, and you believe in a way that, we've seen guys like Brooks Koepka just finally get that edge and then go on a tear. I know I compared Gotterup to Koepka last week. It seems kind of crazy to compare him to a 5-time major champion, but he just kind of has that aura about him of like, this might be the beginning of something special for this guy. And I want to be able to claim him as the guy that they had at Bethpage who came out and shocked people just like Scotty did when he upset John Rahm at Whistling Straits.
So you have to pick 3 from this group then. So we'll put Griffin on there. Mav McNeely, Brian Harmon, Patrick Cantlay, Sam Burns, Young, Gotterup, Spieth. I just gave you 7 names. You got to pick 3. Because, again, I just want to make sure we're in agreement on the top 9, right? That the top 6 plus the next 2 of Thomas and Morikawa and Keegan seem to be 9 that their spots seem to be pretty safe on this team.
I guess, like, by history and association, you have to put Morikawa on the team. I don't necessarily feel great about that, where we sit right now.
He has not been playing good golf. But I don't, granted, they've only been doing 6 captains picks now for 2 years. Yeah. This would be the 3rd time they did it. Stricker was the first one at Whistling Straits here in Wisconsin. They did it 2 years ago. So this is the 3rd time that you've had 6 captains picks. So if Morikawa, who's not going to be caught, he's going to finish 8th on this list. It would be the highest that anybody's ever been on this list and been left off, because that used to be an automatic qualifying spot. So that's why I feel like Colin Morikawa is pretty safe.
He's probably safe. I don't think he should be that safe, though, in my opinion. I think if you're going off of past Ryder Cup experiences, give me Patrick Cantlay over Colin Morikawa.
Yeah. But also, Patrick, you want to talk about bad golf. Patrick Cantlay hasn't played well this year.
Colin hasn't played much better. He had a good start to the year.
He had a good start, but to me, at least he had a good start.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Cantlay, like, you are just going completely off of. Yeah, it's almost kind of like, to me.
But if you make
the
Xander
JT
happy,
pick, the JT pick of
yeah,
I don't care about making guys happy.
No, you know what I mean, though. Like,
yeah.
Partnerships work. That has been a proven, method in Ryder Cup history. It's worked for Team Europe for a long time. Guys who necessarily didn't have the greatest PGA Tour seasons just find a way to turn it on when they're paired together on that type of stage. I feel better about Patrick Cantlay in a big moment than I do about Colin Morikawa right now.
How many times do you think Patrick Cantlay's finished in the top 10 this year?
I believe it's only once this year.
3.
3? Yeah.
It's a bad number.
Wyndham Clark is only once.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It's been a bad year for Wyndham.
So I can give you a quick answer. So I don't want anything to do with Brian Harmon this year. It was great that you won the Open. You had your chance on the Ryder Cup in 2023 in Rome. You went 2-2, and it was all because of Max Homa carrying you.
Well, I love Brian Harmon. I love his mentality.
270 off the tee ain't going to do it at that page.
It is a poor course fit.
Yeah, it just doesn't
Very
fit
poor
for him.
course fit.
Andrew Novak, I think he peaked too early. I don't think that he is the right pick for Team USA right now. I love Maverick McNeely. I think his game travels anywhere. I want him on the team. So I am going to probably go with, I can pick 3.
Yeah, 3 from the list of 7 that I gave you.
I want Maverick McNeely.
Okay.
I want Sam Burns.
Oh.
Was he on your list?
He was.
Okay. And
Are you going Goddard up? Are you going the guy you were just stumping
and I
for?
want Goddard up.
Okay. So you are leaving home Cantlay. You are leaving home Spieth.
Yeah, it's hard to leave Jordan, but I have to leave Jordan this year. No, I want Cantlay instead of Morikawa.
But that's not the question. Because
This is hard. This is fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's really hard because, yeah, look, if I could leave Colin home, I would. I just think that he's not going to be left off. I really don't. So that's why it becomes tough. Yeah, if you had 4, it becomes easier. 4 off that list of 7, because I'm with you in terms of guys that I trust, guys in crucial moments. Because the thing with Colin is a couple of times he's had that pressure of winning. And I understand winning a 72-hole stroke play tournament is different than match play. Get that. But he's shrunk from the moment the last few times he's been there.
Mm-hmm.
And that also scares me. I think he'll eventually overcome it. He's going to win again. He might even win a major championship again. But the way he's been playing as of late, I would love to leave him off. I doubt that Keegan does.
Okay, I changed my pick. I want Maverick McNeely.
So
he's just steady. I just feel good about him. I want to give him this opportunity.
Okay.
I've stuck my neck out for Goddard. I'm going to stay with him. But I am going to go with Patrick Cantlay over Sam Burns.
Okay.
Burns is one of the best, if not the best putter in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have not always been impressed with his ability in big moments. And I think ultimately you have to go with Patty Ice. We've seen what he's done on the stage. We've seen the big putts that he made in Rome and what he's done at Whistling Straits. And I know you don't want to make him happy, but if the partnership works with Xander, and that's something that makes it easy on your captain or vice captain's captain, whoever it may be that's making those decisions come September, I still think Cantlay has the history and the expertise in the big moment to get it done. And I think the home crowd will feed off of him a little bit more than Burns.
Unfortunately, to me, what's going against guys like Mav...
Plus, all the bankers are going to love having Cantlay out there on the course in New York, right?
All the finance bros?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have the Goldman Sachs hat anymore. I think they withdrew the... well, he just can't even wear it. He doesn't even wear a hat during the Ryder Cup.
He's above that.
Yeah. The issue I have with you taking both Goddard and Mav, I have a hard time thinking that Keegan or anyone who is associated with this process is going to be cool with 4 rookies on this team. 2 are going to automatically qualify, JJ and Russell Henley. And then to pick 2 more, so a third of your team is going to be Ryder Cup rookies. I think that's a little bit tough. And that's where I think, guys like Burns, Cantlay, Jordan end up having an advantage. Because I think that there's only going to be one other captain's pick who probably ends up being a rookie from that group of Mav, Cam Young, Chris Goddard. And as much as I love my pick of Cameron Young because of the course fit and he's been playing better, it's realistically probably going to come down to who plays the best out of those 3 in the playoff events on the PGA Tour. And Chris Goddard's the hottest player between those 3 because the way he's been playing as of late.
When was Xander's first Ryder Cup? Was he there in 18?
He might have been.
I think he was a rookie in 2021 at Whistling Straits.
Okay.
And that would be 4 rookies on that team as well, because I know Harris English was a rookie. Mm-hmm. I know Daniel Berger was a rookie, and I know Scotty Scheffler was a rookie.
Yeah.
And I believe Xander, that was his first Ryder Cup team as well. I know Tony Finau had played overseas Because the captain's picks at Whistling Straits were Finau, Schauffele, Spieth, English, Berger, and Scheffler.
Yeah, so the first time that he was in was 21. He was a rookie in 21.
So that's 4 rookies. That team did pretty well.
Yeah, but they also had a captain who wasn't playing.
Bring this full circle.
There's still a lot out there. I think the lists hopefully shrinks down as we get closer to decision time for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, they might make it really easy on us over the next 3 weeks. I mean, there's a prime opportunity. Remember, Keegan went out and won the BMW last year.
Yeah.
And at that point, he kind of put himself into the conversation for the President's Cup roster. So, yeah, it's a fascinating thing to watch how it all plays out. If Ben Griffin doesn't do anything for me the next 3 weeks...
Yeah, he's been real good all year. He's 9th. It's going to be interesting decisions, I think, for Keegan Bradley. And again, a lot of these guys being rookies, I wonder how much that actually plays in. You mentioned something pretty simple and straightforward. It kind of seems what the European Ryder Cup team looks like. We'll take a look at that coming up next after I tell you about a hidden lakeside course in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin at Majestic Oaks. Our great partners here on the tee. We love Majestic Oaks. We love the team down there. Had the opportunity to go out there and play earlier this year. Course with over 2 miles of lakefront, wide fairways, challenging greens. Some are bigger, some are smaller, especially on that front side. Challenging greens certainly wait for you. But what we love about it is the best family golf nights in the state. Everyone can enjoy the game together and enjoy golf, cart, drinks, and snacks for under $15 per person. If you're ready to play, book your tee time today, lakelawnsresort.com with Majestic Oaks Golf Course. Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson want to tell you what we did in terms of, finding a good place to play golf. We joined out at the Wisconsin Country Club. Stephen, you've been out there how many years now at this point?
Look at you. That's a nice shirt you got on today. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, a little Wisconsin Country Club logo. Eighth summer out there.
8th summer.
7 or 8, I don't know. I'm getting old. It's been a long time, but I've been proud to call it my home course for a while. I just love the golf course.
Well, I love the golf course too, and I've talked about the golf course a ton. But I heard you were having a good time on Sunday out at the pool with the family.
The pool was a vibe this weekend. It was 85 degrees. Good opportunity to get the kids out there. It was probably the most packed I've seen that pool in that span. It was a good environment for the family. Kids were having fun. Took both my kids down the slide.
That's got to be a fun dad moment.
It was hard to pull them away from the pool when you go down the slide.
I can't imagine.
We had a great time with the family.
No assessments, no food and beverage minimums as well. Just that incredible golf course and top-tier amenities, tennis, pickleball, and the pool Steven was just talking about. Get started today at WisconsinCountryClub.com. It's just a fairway away. The European Ryder Cup, Steven, it seems more straightforward.
It's so easy for them right now.
So much like Team USA, they have an automatic qualifier already. So many points, he's just lapping the field. That's Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, he has 3,440 points. Second place right now has 1,345 points. So
almost 20. Just so many points in front. Just more than doubling up poor Robert McIntyre. Tommy Fleetwood is 3rd. Tyrrell Hatton is 4th. Shane Lowry 5th. Sepp Straka is 6th. Sepp could fall out of that 6th spot with Rasmus Højgaard right behind him. Justin Rose, Ludwig Åberg, and Victor Hovland round out their top 10.
Victor Hovland's 10th right now in the rankings. This is not good.
No, but here's the thing. We were just talking about, it seems like the guys in the 8th spot got off to really good starts and have not been playing good golf since.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if Justin Rose is left off this team.
I agree.
Because there is, and it's funny because 4 years ago, when we were at Whistling Straits, and they were transitioning out of really the old guard for Team Europe. A lot of those names that you recognize that maybe unironically ended up in Live to get that one last payday. But it's like, man, where are these young guys going to come from? What is Team Europe going to do? Look at how stacked Team USA is. And these young guys have just come flying in out of everywhere for Team Europe. So, I think Rasmus is good. And he's on the team. Ludwig's going to be on the team. Victor's going to be on the team. By the way, John Rahm, nowhere on this list.
Yeah, he's going to be 21st in their rankings.
Guess who's going to be a captain's pick? I believe we'll be seeing Rombo in the Ryder Cup. So when you start kind of figuring out, Matt Fitzpatrick's been playing some really good golf, down the stretch here. He's gotten hotter as the season has progressed. Nicholas Højgaard. So both Højgaards have been playing well. Fitzpatrick's been playing well.
There's Nicholas Norgaard and Nikolai Højgaard.
in
addition to Rasmus Højgaard.
Neargard Peterson.
Yeah, there's also Rasmus. There's a lot of Rasmuses and Neargards, Norgards, all the above.
Yeah.
This team is stacked. I mean, if you even go down to 24th is my guy, Harry Hall. You know, the guy I've fallen in love with this PGA Tour season. He's golfing better than probably the top 10 guys on their team right now from a consistency standpoint. I mean, he had a great showing at the Open. A guy who leads the PGA Tour in most rounds in the 60s this year.
He's nowhere near this team.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Nowhere near this team.
Matt Fitzpatrick, he's starting to find his form.
Yep.
Thomas Dietrich, he's probably going to be just on the outside looking in unless he has a really good finish.
Let's just do this. Outside of the top 6, because even if Sepp falls out, I'm guessing Sepp is on this team.
Yeah.
So outside the top 6, I would say Rasmus, Ludwig, Victor, and Rahm are pretty much locks.
Yeah.
So that leaves 2 spots for Justin Rose, Matt Wallace, Thomas Dietrich,
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Aaron Rye, Jordan Smith. Yeah, not a lot of spots left and a lot of names that they have on this list, which is why, because Justin Rose hasn't been playing the best, it would be a tough conversation, I think, for their captain, Luke Donald, to have with Justin. But if they want to do something that hasn't been done since 2012 and win on foreign soil, I think that's the type of tough conversation you need to have, and that's why Luke Donald is there as their captain.
I think if it's in Europe, your point is valid. I think they need a veteran in the States. I think Justin Rose is going to be on this team. I think this is going to be his swan song on the Ryder Cup. I think this is going to be... He's the perfect type of player who feeds off of a visiting crowd.
Okay, you bring up the crowd. Is it going to be as hostile as we think? Or did a lot of that get priced out with how expensive the tickets are?
I think most of it got priced out.
Okay.
I do. But I there's always an energy at the Ryder Cup that I think people will understand the assignment when it's all said and done. It won't be what it probably looks like in Europe. And a lot of that is because they do a better job with the stadium seating in Europe as well. It just seems like the infrastructure is always bigger, grander, a little bit more on top of the golfers, which I love and I envy. But I still think, even if you have your finance bros and people are paying $750 for a ticket, this is the best spectacle in golf. And I think that enough New Yorkers love to embrace that brash, type of personality and super fandom. And you get more people from the East Coast and people traveling all over the country for the opportunity to see a course like Bethpage Black, too. I think that the crowd will be good. Will it be the best crowd? Maybe not, but I think it still is going to be a top-tier Ryder Cup environment for Team USA. It will feel like a home game for those players, and that's why I do think Justin Rose is a guy who will embrace that and feed off that and have fun with it a little bit more than maybe Matt Fitzpatrick might have his tail between his legs a little bit in some spots. I think that Justin Rose can rise to that occasion and thrive off of it a little bit better than some of those guys on Team Europe.
As it stands, if that's true, if Rose ends up being one of the last picks along with Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I'd be willing to say he's actually a lock.
Okay.
Justin.
They would have one rookie, and that would be Rasmus Højgaard. His brother was on the team that was successful in 2023, and they really wouldn't have a ton of turnover because the team in 23 was Rory, Rahm, McIntyre, Hovland, Hatton, Fitzpatrick, Ludwig, Tommy, Nikolai Højgaard, Shane Lowry, Justin Rose, Sepp Straka. So really all you would be doing is flipping out Højgaards from that team in 23.
Yeah, and
which honestly for them, to me, almost kind of seems like the point. You're running Luke Donald back, a team that was pretty dominant. Wouldn't you want to run a lot of that team back, especially if they're playing as well as they have been?
And you talk about team golf. The Højgaards played the Zurich together. They've played golf their entire life together. Maybe they're both on the team this year because Nikolai has proven what he was able to do overseas in his last.
Okay, so then who are you dropping?
Well, actually, he was 0-2-1. He was the only guy with a losing record for Team Europe. So maybe not the year for Nikolai in a road environment, but maybe Luke Donald's like, hey, I want the twins together. But
then you'd have to drop somebody else.
Yeah.
Which becomes, so if you were to do that, then you're probably dropping Justin Rose. If you want the Højgaards together, my guess is Rose would have to be the odd man out there. Or Fitzpatrick. But Fitzpatrick, to me, has been playing better.
Yeah.
And
he's played in Ryder Cups.
Yeah.
I think, it's probably going to be one Højgaard or no Højgaards.
Well, again, it's either but Rasmus right now is 7th. Like, he could catch Sepp and lock himself into this, basically replacing Nikolai from the previous team, and that being the only change.
Yeah.
Which seems wild that they could have that much consistency over a 2-year stretch where the only change you made from your successful team is you flipped brothers.
Twin brothers who look the same. Might as well just call them Nikolai.
It's just to make everybody comfortable. Just make sure everybody's on the same page.
I hate how this makes me feel where we sit right now, because I've kind of been ebbing and flowing. You've been down on Team USA consistently for most of this calendar golf year. Mm-hmm. I was starting to feel good about where we were at with JT, and then Morikawa's just been on a downward spiral. Cantlay's been playing poorly.
We've still got a month for some of these guys to turn it around.
This Keegan, it's just a mess. It's just an absolute mess right now. And it should not be a mess when you're on your home turf. You can experiment and try something weird on the road, but I mean, they can't lose. They can't lose at home, or they might not ever win again.
If they lose this at home, things are going to get out of control.
Can we get it out of the hands of the PGA of America?
It feels like the only way
we
that happens...
get the USGA to come on in.
Well, again, it feels like the only way that happens is if PGA Tour Enterprises, like their for-profit arm, where they got all the money in, if they buy it. And I don't know if I trust them to be making decisions about who a captain should be either. So I think we're just kind of stuck. It's kind of the way it feels right now.
I'm still going to hold out hope that it's Gary Woodland or Kevin Kisner making the decisions come September.
Yeah, and you happen to lose a tooth, just put it under your pillow. Maybe the tooth fairy will come get it for you too, pal. Erin Hills, Golf Digest, 10th ranked public course in the nation. I have been counting down the days. Tuesday after Labor Day. That's when Steven and I are going to be out there doing the show. We love going out there and playing, and you should too. Charming overnight accommodations, the championship golf experience, back nine, pure elegance. Look, front nine's pretty good too. Erin Hills, Championship Golf in Wisconsin. Plan your trip today at erinhills.com. This is not a drill. If you sink a hole-in-one at X Golf inside of American Family Field, you could win the ultimate Brewers prize. A trip down Bernie Slide. Steven and I have done it, and you will enjoy it. So how do you do it? Well, you just got to nail the shot, and then you and a friend get game tickets and up to 5 trips down the iconic slide. Bernie goes down after every home run. Hole-in-one. Suddenly you're living every fan's, not just childhood, but just overall dream. Book your swing. X-Golf inside American Family Field. Open to the public 7 days a week. Bernie also, of course, busy last night. He was going down that slide multiple times.
Yeah, 3 times.
As the Brewers took down the Chicago Cubs in Game 1 of that series.
Always feels good to beat the Cubs.
Always feels good. Especially the guy behind me. Guy behind me, Steven, was just, by the end, was trying to figure out a way to trade for Tarek Skubal.
Oh, sure.
And I wish that was that was a joke. I wish that was, his buddy went, do you want to trade PCA? Because that would cost. I wanted to turn around and go, PCA and? What are you throwing in there? For the reigning Cy Young Award winner. For a team, by the way, who's
I'm already fired up.
Also in first place in their respective division.
About the USA's, where we sit with the Ryder Cup. I don't need to talk Cubs fans.
You don't need to Cubs fans, all right. So let's talk about the PGA Tour, because some of the changes that they've made in reaction to LIV, obviously they put together the signature events, but I think one of the more underrated things is trimming down how many cards are handed out from 125 to 100, and how many people make the playoffs and get to be eligible for some of that big money that FedEx makes available as part of the postseason. So only 100 cards available, and only 70 players end up going from this week at the Wyndham to the FedEx St. Jude Championship next week. And there are some pretty significant names, Steven, that are on the bubble. Maybe we can find a gem of the week in there that's going to fight their way into the postseason. Of course, the gem of the week is always brought to you by the Jewelry Center. Engagement rings, wedding bands, gifts for that special someone, even repairs. It all happens at the Jewelry Center. Visit any one of the 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington, or online at shoptjc.com.
So I'll start at 60. We're going top 70, get into the FedEx Cup playoffs next week. Number 60 right now, Tony Finau. A name who has kind of fallen off of our Ryder Cup rankings. Hasn't had the best golf season. Hasn't played in as many events as we're used to seeing him play in.
I'm surprised he was on this side of... Like, if you would have just blindly said, oh, do you think Tony Finau right now is in or out? I would have said outside of the top 70.
Yeah, he's had enough, good finishes. He hasn't played in a ton of events, whereas a guy who's number 61 by the name of Ricky Fowler, heard of him?
He plays in everything.
Ricky's playing in every event right now.
So it's not, while he has not had the season he probably wants, it's not shocking to me that he's on this side, just from the sheer volume of the events he plays.
Yeah, and then, all right, so we'll finish off the 60s. Davis Riley, 62. 63rd is Kevin Yu. 64th, Eric Van Rooyen. 65th, Nico Echeverria, which I'm surprised he's that high. He's had a pretty good year. 66, Emiliano Grillo. Cam Davis is 67. Patrick Rogers, 68. Ben An is 69. And on the bubble spot at number 70 is Matty Schmid, the German. So just to give you an idea, the way the points work, 595 points is where Schmid sits right now at 70. To get to 60, it's fewer than 100 points away. So there is a lot of names bunched in. So an opportunity this week at Wyndham to move into that top 70. A guy like Nikolai Højgaard, who currently sits just outside the bubble at 71, he needs a solo 63rd finish this week to get inside the top 70. So there's an opportunity for a lot of movement here in the Wyndham. It's a good event to tune into because they'll have live updates in their graphics as well. If you're watching on PGA Tour Live, throughout every single shot, you will just see it automatically update where these guys are projected to finish in the field. So I mentioned Højgaard. Here's some of the names that are just on the outside of the bubble. Keith Mitchell, Kashmir Keith, who had a great start to his season.
He had a really good start.
72nd. Chris Kirk. He was in that playoff at the Rocket. That would have vaulted him inside. But that's a guy that, he needs a solo 43rd finish this week to get inside the top 70. Christian Bezuidenhout at 74. Gary Woodland at 75. Kevin Roy, 76. Alex Smalley, Davis Thompson, Eric Cole, William Mao. That brings me up to number 80. Rasmus Højgaard is at 82nd right now, which is fascinating. He needs to finish in a two-way tie for 4th in order to jump his way into the top 70 at this point in the year. Big names who are probably not going to find themselves in the FedEx Cup without a win. Adam Scott. Michael Thorbjornsen, promising young guy. Tom Kim. You can go all the way down this list.
Tom Kim is really, really rough here for Tom Kim. I think he's missed like double-digit cuts this year.
Max Homa is down to 106 right now. He needs a two-way tie for second this weekend in order to get inside the top 70.
You feel for Max because he's doing all the right things, too. He's going to the opposite field events. He's playing as much as he can. And look, even though he's even right now on the outside looking at the PGA Tour card, he is exempt, I believe, through 28. So I think he's got 3 more years based on past victories and things like that, getting him his PGA Tour card. So if Max Homa doesn't even get into the top 100, it's not like he's going to be on the Korn Ferry Tour next year. He still has exemptions. He's going to be on the PGA Tour. But it's also worth noting, I think, keeping an eye around that top 50 because those top 50 get into the signature events. Now, again, you've got 2 weeks to do that. So first finish in the top 70 and then do well at the FedEx St. Jude to get in the top 50, which gets you into the signature events next season. That's where Jordan Spieth lives, who needed a lot of sponsors exemptions to play those events this year, could earn his way in if he has a good couple of weeks.
And it sounds silly to say, but it's a lot easier to get into the top 70 than the top 50. The point disparity for those guys sitting between 40 and 55 is a lot bigger than what we're seeing right now floating around that 70 mark. Just one other really interesting name who needs a win this week in order to get in is a guy that I think you and I a year ago would have probably put on our Ryder Cup roster, Sahith Theegala. It's been a terrible season for Sahith. He battled some injuries as well, but just goes to show how quickly things can change on the PGA Tour and kind of the outlook for some of these guys. And
give me a name on the outside that's going to make it, going to make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs? I think I'll go with Chris Kirk is going to find his way in. I'm
going to say Kashmir Keith.
Yeah, Ryo Hisatsune needs a two-way tie for 6th. This is a guy I've been in love with watching this year. 22-year-old from Japan. Probably the second best Japanese player right now behind Hideki Matsuyama. It's a guy who plays so well on Thursday and Fridays, just cannot figure it out on the weekend. He has so much raw potential. I would love to see him get in because that's a name that I think people are going to start to watch. If you watch him on TV, he takes a sip of water before every shot he hits. It's fascinating.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Even
on the putting green.
Yeah, on the putting green, his caddy stands with his water bottle, hands it to him, he takes a sip, and then that starts his putting routine every single time. So, yeah, it adds a little bit of fun flavor to the Wyndham this week to see that movement to get inside the top 70.
It wasn't a huge deal, but it was a little minor thing. And I forgot to mention it to Steven last week that happened at the Wisconsin Country Club, part of our member guests. Steven will rule if I handled the situation properly, coming up next on the tee. With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog. So anytime you find yourself in competitive golf situations, it always has the opportunity. You shared the story a couple of years of the red coat, of a guy shuffling his feet behind you.
Happy feet, that's what I call them.
So there was a minor situation in our third match, part of the member guest that we had at Wisconsin Country Club a couple of weeks ago. And it was the most competitive match we were in. We ended up losing the match 6-4. For those who don't know, every hole's worth a point. You win the match. If you split the hole, you each get a half point. And then if you win the match, you get a winner's point. So they beat us 5-4, got the extra point 6-4. So we are tied on the 16th hole at Wisconsin Country Club. And I put my ball in the bunker, and I think I'm in for 4, right? And my partner was on the green and hit a putt, I would say 3.5, 4 feet. You know, certainly I was not, there's a little bit of movement in it because the pin was kind of tucked on the left side, was not expecting anything, and their team remained silent. Okay? Yeah. I would have made my partner putt it. Like, I completely understand. It's a tight match, you know, maybe if this is the first hole, you're feeling, you know, a little more jovial, you give it, but in this situation, completely understood it. So their guy ends up putting out, makes the 3, and my partner's in his routine. You know, he's put the ball down. He's starting to walk into the putt. And one of their guys goes, what are we doing? Are we like looking at his partner, like stopping the entire proceeding saying, oh, are we going to give him this putt? And like my partner thought heard someone say it's good. Didn't pick it up, but he's just, wait, what? Because again, in his mind, he was putting it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he was one of the first people to putt, and now he's the last one there. So he knew he had to putt it the entire time. And they eventually said, no, you got to putt it. So he's kind of rattled, ends up missing the putt. We made birdie on the next hole, and then they beat us on 18. But I felt the need. So the player was the guest who was like, oh, what are we doing here? So I felt I should have said something to who I know. I know the member that we were playing with, and I just went, hey, no problem. Had no problem that you made him putt it. I mean, he missed it, right? Like, I would have made him putt it. No problem with that. But when my partner's starting to walk to his ball, because now he's in his routine and he wants to putt it, and your partner goes, whoa, what are we doing here? And causes chaos like that, I think that's Bush.
Yeah.
And I just kind of left it.
Do you think it was ill-intention?
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I just think that he just kind of, I don't know, just kind of, but still, like, the entire time, like, if they were going to give the putt, they're going to give it right away, you know? So neither my partner and I ever thought that this putt was going to be given because there was a short putt that he had to start outside the hole.
Yeah.
You know, so, and he said, hey, I understand where you're coming from. Actually even apologized for it again after the match. But I just felt like it was something that needed to be said. Like, hey, when you're in a match, like, my guy's walking up to, you can't be interrupting when he's in the middle of his process about to address the ball.
I mean, I'm bummed for you. I would feel equally frustrated in a situation when somebody starts the routine.
Like, it's over. Like, you can't, now nobody says anything, especially in a tight competitive match.
Were there any other instances of said guest who just seemed a little off, like not having the wherewithal of kind of the competitive nature of the...
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he had been, so this was my first time in our member guest, and I think he had been the guest previously of the guy that I know, who I knew a little bit too, but it was just kind of like, there's just a general awareness of somebody's addressing their ball.
Here's the better question for you.
Yeah.
If he makes the putt, do you talk about it?
I wouldn't have said anything. I still might have said something.
Okay.
Because I thought it was pretty out of line. Like I would have talked about it with my partner. Like, oh, remember when they tried to screw you up and you still buried the putt? Like, that's how we would talk about it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I still would have said something like, he had to reset.
Yeah.
Like, he's in his process. Again, after you make your putt, and yeah, that's fine. You know, if you want to have the discussion if he's not in his process yet, but when you wait until he's walking into his ball.
It's a weird way to do it. Of like, are we giving this to him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the member's like, no.
Yeah,
like because it was that ridiculous of a question. I thought it was an egregious question. Like, no, of course you're not giving this to him.
Yeah.
So. Again, those little minor things that come up in competitive golf that can hang with you
people just
from time
don't
to time.
have feel in certain situations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as long as it wasn't like a consistent problem throughout the match,
it wasn't.
that would have led to something that's worth a blow up.
And again, it wasn't a blow. I just kind of said something off to the side, not even to the member, but
I think you handled it right.
not to the guest, but just to the member. Like, hey, just kind of keep an eye on this. Like, because again, I felt that the member handled everything the way he should have.
Well, that's probably the best news out of this whole story.
His partner, that he's kind of just put him in a precarious spot.
Yeah. If he would have defended his partner and said like, oh, I didn't see anything wrong with that, then we have a problem.
Yeah. All right.
Unfortunate for you guys.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, wait, we choked, all right? Like, this had nothing to do with us not winning the flight. We choked later the very next day. So this had nothing to do with that. All right, we just straight up choked.
Well, you'll go get it this weekend with Tom.
Yeah, we
Defending
will.
champ.
Defending champs at Blackhawk. Can't wait to talk about that next week, and I'm sure we will right here on the tee.